If you are here, probably you are wondering about this laptop right here. Trust me, it's a really good laptop. And we will break it apart today and we will figure out what it's all about. And in front of me is the Lenovo LOQ 15-inch Full HD 144Hz gaming laptop. This is the version that has the Intel Core i5 12400 450HX with 12 gigabyte of RAM, 512 gigabyte SSD, with the most important part being the RTX 3050, the 6 gigabyte version, not the 4 gigabyte version. Yet, keep in mind, the RTX 3050 6 gigabyte version is actually the same one as the 4050 version, and the image that you are seeing right now is actually a proof because all of the cores and such are identical between the 3050 6 gigabyte version and then the 4050 gigabyte version. Now I have already unboxed the laptop because I was very excited. However, it looks wonderful. Now I have not turned it on just yet, so hopefully it's working. And the price for this machine usually runs for about $890, so after tax probably we're looking closer to $950. However, right now there is a sale on it for about $570, which is way cheaper than the price that I got it for. But the regular price right now is $570, so I recommend getting this, especially if you are using a Blender, Cinema 4D, Maya, ZBrush, whatever that might be. This will be a wonderful machine, and we will be testing a Blender with it as well, and then we will be doing more testing. Now, a quick comparison size-wise. This is my Razer Blade 15. However, this one has the 3070 Ti with 64 gigabyte of RAM. I would say the LOQ is a little bit bigger, but let's put that here and let's go ahead and get it out. Wow, this looks beautiful. I can't get enough of this laptop. This laptop looks beautiful. USB right here, HDMI right here, Ethernet right here, which is very important actually to have because my Razer Blade actually does not have it. I need to use a dongle for that. And then here we have one more USB, and I believe this is the King Against the Lock right here. Very nice. Let's go ahead and open it. Okay, we have all of this since it's new, so I did not use that. So I want to keep that as it is, so I'm going to put it right here. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Now, probably it's dead, so if it's dead, then I definitely need to charge it, but we will be doing that in a second. However, before I do that, here it comes with its charger as well. That is your charger right here. So I'm going to open that. And this is the charging brick. So it's the 170 watts, nothing fancy. It's a charger. That is about it. So as it seems, this was not the King Against the Lock. This was actually the power adapter right here. So I'm gonna connect it. And then after I connect it to the power adapter, what I'm gonna do is turn on the machine. So the machine is turning on. Beautiful backlighting. I will have my mouse right here, so it's showing the Lenovo logo, which is expected. It's turning on. This is really nice. I am very excited. So after the initial setup is done, now the first step that we need to do is of course to download Google Chrome. So we will just go and use Microsoft Edge for the only purpose of its existence, and that is to download Google Chrome. And after I want to go right here. So for the CPU, we have the Intel 12 Gen i5 12450HX, and basically the clock speed for that is 2.4 right here. Now in terms of the memory, we are looking at 12 gigabytes, and we have 6 gigabytes being used and then 4 gigabytes available, or 4.8. And here is our 12 gigabyte. For the GPU, we have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 6 gigabyte version, and that's what you want. because as I said, this version is actually the same version as the 4056 gigabyte version, since they do have the same specs. And here you do have the Intel internal graphics, which does power up stuff here and there. Now I do recommend after you open it, you do a fresh install of Windows completely for the machine. Now for the power profiles, we will do two types of testing. We will test while it's balanced, and then we will do a test when it is under the performance mode. So far I have it plugged in and then in balance, so we will go ahead and test that. And we will start with the junk shop using, so the kernel is now built, and I do have CUDA, and then we have everything set to OpenGL. So we're gonna go ahead right here. So this is cycles supported, and then GPU compute render, and then we would render one image, and that would be the project for the junk shop, and we will see how long that would take. So this is done, and it took 34 seconds, which is really good. So 34 seconds only. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to edit, and then I'm gonna go to preferences, and then from preferences I'm gonna turn off, and then we will see what a performance we would be getting to render. Now when picking the GPU only, this took 26 seconds, which is faster by 10 seconds than the last time, which was 34 seconds or 36 seconds. So we are gonna go ahead and do it one more time to double check the result, and then when we have a similar results, that means the result, that's the results that we will be getting. Then I will do one more test, and that one more test would be with the performance mode, because so far what we have been using is the balanced mode. So with the performance mode, are we gonna get a similar results, a better result, or whatever that might be? We will see that. And if I put it on the performance mode, it should change the color here from white actually to red, indicating that you have changed to the performance mode. So here we got 26 seconds, 0.30 again. So basically use only the GPU, do not use the CPU with it, and that's the performance that we are getting, which is good. Now what we are gonna do, we are going to change to the performance mode. So as you can see right here, plugged in, balanced, I'm gonna change it to best performance. And when I changed it to best performance, here the color at the bottom for the power button turns into red. So for the performance mode, we're gonna go ahead and render, and then see if we are gonna get a better result or a similar result as well. Now this is the performance mode, and it did finish in 25 seconds, so it's a difference of 1 second. Can we say this is a margin of error, or can we say that a performance mode is better? I don't know. That's up to you to decide, but then I'm gonna run it one last time to see if the performance mode is gonna give us anything that is, let's say, tangible in terms of performance. Now speaking about performance, what I am noticing is that the fans are kicking in when I am using the performance mode. Are the fans really loud and annoying? No, not really. I think that's just fine, but keep in mind this is a new machine anyway, so there is not a lot of dust or whatever that might be. And even when you turn on to performance mode and you have the fans working, and the fans are doing much more than they should, in a general sense they will be collecting more dust, so that's something to be mindful of. Right now we got 24 seconds, which is again faster by 2 seconds than the original run that we had. So we had 26 seconds, and then after that the second run was 25, and now this is the third, and that is 24. So I guess the performance mode definitely does give you a little bit of an edge. Are you gonna use it on the performance mode or not? That's up to you. Now the last thing that I want to check with this laptop is to see what we can upgrade inside and how the internals does looks like. So that is the first one I'm gonna put right here. Second I'm gonna put right here. Third I'm gonna put right here. Fourth, fifth, then cease. Then you have 7th right here. And then 8th, 9th, and 10th. So basically what we are looking at is 10 screws to get into the laptop. And after the 10 screws, I will just use this to open it. Now, I do not recommend doing this with a knife, so you wouldn't damage your laptop in a general sense. Now, this should open, but be careful just to make sure nothing is connected. Well, nothing is connected. And this is what you will be getting. Now, I will put that to the side. So we do have an extra NVMe SD slot right here. That is great, so you can expand the storage and add something extra right here. Also, you do have the Wi-Fi card right here, which is something that can be changed, so you can upgrade that as well. And here we do have the battery. Also, you do have the 2 fans right here, which they do push from the sides. That's why I said when you are connecting your power, make it go this way, so it wouldn't be go into any of the sides, so it wouldn't catch any heat if possible. And here you have your NVMe SSD, but it's half the size, so it's not like the full length, and that is the one that comes with the laptop built in. And here for this casing right here, I am sure this is the RAM. Here you do have some padding for the heat, and here it's saying it's DDR5, and there is one RAM slot right here, and the second RAM slot is empty. If I have to guess, I would say this is upgradable up to 64 gigabytes. Now the official documentation says that it's upgradable to 32 gigabytes, but usually in my experience, whatever number that you are getting from the manufacturer, it's a conservative number. That means actually you can go doubles. Now I do have the version from last year, which is the same laptop. However, it's the 3050, the 4 gigabyte version, not the 6 gigabyte version, which is actually the 4050. And for that version, it said that the maximum it can actually be upgraded to is 16 gigabyte. I installed 32 gigabytes and it works with no issues as well. And in terms of the Razer, the older one said the maximum that it can go up to is 32. I upgraded that to 64 and it works just fine, and I am planning to actually upgrade the one that says the maximum is 64. I am planning to upgrade it to either 128 or 96. I think 96 would work, but maybe 128 it would not. That so if this says the maximum is 32, you can definitely go up to 64, and I will be trying that in a different video, and then we will see if this actually can accept 32 or even 64. Because believe it or not, I do have extra RAM slots that are laying around just because I own so many laptops, and then I can definitely put that in and then test it, and perhaps I can actually use this one and put it right here. However, my recommendation for the RAM is getting 2 RAM slots from the same company with the same speeds and the same specs as well, so there would not be any issues, and running in dual channel is usually better than any other option in terms of the laptop. And with that, I am going to close Slack. So do I recommend the laptop? Well, this laptop, as you can see right now is an amazing laptop for the price that it's at. You can find it on sale for $560, and that's in the link down below. And we have tested a Blender. We have seen that the laptop is upgradable, which means you can go up to 32 gigabytes of RAM officially, and also you can expand the storage by adding an external NVMe since you have a whole slot for it. Now, opening the device is relatively easy, and in terms of the I/O, I thought at first the laptop doesn't have a USB-C, but oh well, believe it or not, it does have a USB-C, and it does have a headphone jack, and it does have a USB right here. So do I recommend it? Yes, I do recommend it, and especially for someone who is on a budget, this is a great laptop for all your 3D stuff. This was Adam, and I will see you in the next one.